Are money market rates better than T-bills? Hello, member super savers and bond course fans. I hope you're healthy and well, and welcome back to a weekly update. Many in this Diamond NestEgg community park some of our uninvested cash in money market funds, including me. So it's no surprise that some of you want to know where those money market rates currently stand with the leading brokers relative to T-bills. With that in mind, here are the 3 topics that we'll be covering in today's update video. 1. What are the top money market funds at Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard paying at the moment? 2. Which treasuries rose the most and which ones fell this past week? And 3. What are the highest yielding opportunities for new issue agencies, corporates, and brokered CDs right now? And for our New York and New Jersey savers with kids under age 25, in this section of today's video, we'll be sharing with you a 6% savings account that could be interesting for some of you. As usual, here's our front of video disclaimer. For a detailed disclaimer, please refer to the end of this video. Let's dive in now, folks. What are the top money market funds at Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard paying at the moment? We'll be talking primarily about the government and Treasury money market funds at these 3 leading brokerages, not prime or municipal money market funds, as government and Treasury money market funds are where many of us park our uninvested cash, and also because government and Treasury money market funds are most comparable to T-bills in terms of risk profile. Here's where Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard's top money market fund rates stand currently. And when I say rates, I'm referring to the 7-day SEC yield, a standardized method of calculating the yield on funds that is comparable across firms and products. And because the 7-day SEC yield is sometimes misunderstood, please do note that this is an annualized rate net of expenses. For Fidelity, we have SPACs, Fidelity's Government Money Market Fund, at 4.03%. FZFXX, Fidelity's Treasury Money Market Fund, at 4.02%. And FDRXX, Fidelity's Government Cash Reserves, at 4.08%. All 3 of these are core money market funds at Fidelity, with FDRXX typically only available in certain tax advantage accounts, such as IRAs and HSAs. A core money market fund is a type of money market mutual fund that can be used as a core position in an account, meaning that is where your uninvested cash is automatically held. There's no need to place a buy or sell order for a core money market fund. For Schwab, we have SNVXX, Schwab's Government Money Fund, at 4.10%. SNOXX, Schwab's Treasury Obligations Money Fund, also at 4.10%. And SNSXX, Schwab's U.S. Treasury Money Fund, at 4.04%. Schwab does not offer any core money market funds anymore, meaning that you will have to place a buy or sell order to move your money into or out of their money market funds, including these 3 here. If you don't do this yourself, this is the APY that your uninvested cash in your Schwab brokerage account is earning right now, not these rates here. For Vanguard, we have VMRXX, Vanguard's Cash Reserves Federal Money Market Fund Admiral Shares, at 4.3%. VMFXX, Vanguard's Federal Money Market Fund, at 4.28%, which is also Vanguard's Core Money Market Fund. And VUSXX, Vanguard's Treasury Money Market Fund, at 4.28%. And what we can see here is that these money market fund rates at Vanguard, these 7-day SEC yields, are noticeably higher than those at Fidelity and Schwab. And the reason for this is because the expense ratios on Vanguard's money market funds are also noticeably lower than those on Fidelity's and Schwab's, which should come as no surprise to the Vanguard fans in our community, since Vanguard is well regarded in the industry for their low-cost funds. There are also at least 3 important points to note about the money market funds and rates we've shown you here. First, if you're with another leading broker and want to buy into any of these Vanguard money market funds, there is typically a minimum initial investment requirement of $3,000. Second, these Schwab funds here are what Schwab refers to as investor shares, which have a minimum initial investment of $0. Each of these funds also offers ultra shares, which typically have a rate that is 15 basis points higher than what is shown for the investor shares, all of which can be attributed to different expense ratios. However, the minimum investment for Ultra shares is $1 million. Third, while the interest earned on T-bills is exempt from state and local taxes when held in a taxable brokerage account, tax treatment on dividends earned from these money market mutual funds can vary depending on the percentage of treasuries held, as well as the state you live in. For more details on this and any of the money market funds here, please refer to these money market fund videos that I've linked below in the first pinned comment for reference. So, now that you know where Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard's top money market rates stand currently, let's move on now to where treasuries ended the past week so that we can do our promised comparison. Which treasuries rose the most and which ones fell this past week? As we so often do at the end of the week, let's grab our rates from the Treasury's Daily Treasury Par Yield Curve Rates page and compare Treasury yields from this past Friday versus the previous week. Here we have all the maturities that the Treasury issues at auction. Here's where yields stood this past Friday, and here's where yields stood at the end of the previous week. And here's the increase or decrease in rates over the past week. Increases in rates are shown in black, and decreases in rates are shown in red. Treasury yields had a bit of a roller coaster week due to concerns around nearly everything. Sky-high technology valuations and moderating growth drove yields down, and inflation worries, a cautious Fed, and President Trump's tariff announcements drove yields up again. In the end, yields on the 2-month, 4-month, and 6-month were up slightly by 1, and 3 basis points respectively. The 1 year was unchanged, and all the other maturities were down by as little as 2 basis points for the 30-year, up to 8 basis points for the 1 month, despite the Fed keeping rates stable at the latest FOMC meeting. And when you look at these T-bill rates, what you can see is that if you're laddering T-bills on the shorter end, below 4 months basically, you're still likely doing at least a bit better than simply parking your cash in one of the money market funds here that we just talked about. Now, let's take a look at Treasury yields from this past Friday versus 1 year ago. This row shows where rates ended this past Friday. This row shows where rates were on January 31st, 2024. And this row shows the increase or decrease in rates over the past year. Again, increases in rates are shown in black, and decreases in rates are shown in red. Treasury yields across all maturities 3-year and up are noticeably higher than where they were a year ago, with the biggest differences to be seen on the 7-year, 10-year, 20-year, and 30-year. Everything 2-year and shorter, though, is lower than where it was a year ago, with the biggest differences to be seen on the 1 to 4 month T-bills due to the Fed's rate cuts last year. You can find more details on these rates for any day of the week that the bond market is open on the Treasury's Daily Treasury Par Yield Curve Rates page, as I mentioned earlier. All sources are linked below in the first pinned comment. Do keep in mind that this overview gives you a general feeling for where rates currently stand along the maturity spectrum. The yields that you may get when you buy at a specific auction or from a specific broker, or when you sell, will likely differ a little bit from what's shown here. Now that we've covered Treasury yields from this past week, let's move on to the next section of today's video. What are the highest yielding opportunities for new issue agencies, corporates, and brokered CDs right now? Here we are at Treasury Direct's upcoming auctions page. If we scroll down, we can see that all the weekly T-bill and CMB auctions are happening as usual. Other than that, it's pretty quiet on the Treasury auction front. For those of you who may be interested in other types of bonds and CDs for a bit of a higher yield potentially, here's where the highest yielding new issue agency bonds stand at the time of this taping, with the highest yielding one from Federal Home Loan Banks at 6.125%, with a first call date in May 2025. Here's the CUSIP for those of you who may be interested. For corporate bonds, there are a few new issues again this week on Fidelity, but all below 6%. The highest yielding one is from Bank of America at 5.75%, with a first call date in February 2028. Here's the CUSIP for those of you who may be interested. For brokered CDs, rates continue to move downwards. The highest yielding one is from Smart Bank at 4.6%, with a first call date in August 2025. So as I mentioned towards the beginning of this video, we came across a 6% savings account that may be of interest for the New York and New Jersey savers in our community with kids under age 25. And actually, you can thank Ava and Caitlin, my daughters, for this one because they're the ones that found it and decided to do their first YouTube video ever on it here. I've also linked it below for easy reference. All right, members, super savers, and bond course fans, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. And as always, if you want to build a stable, predictable income stream in retirement, especially while bond yields are quite attractive, then check out this video. Here on our bond courses, which we are in the process of updating, we've extended our New Year's bond course sale for a few extra days until Monday, February 3rd. Use coupon code BONDS2025 to get an additional 10% off of our popular bond course bundle before then. The 10% coupon code BONDS2025 can also be used to purchase Bond Beginners or our intermediate level course Bond Masters individually. Good luck to everyone who's planning on picking up some bonds and or CDs this coming week. And see you again very soon with more brand new wealth building content for your financial journey.